Hey everybody, welcome to the Sounds of Skaia podcast, episode 2, Electric Boogaloo. Today we're discussing Showtime Imp Strife Remix, Nanaquin, Skies of Skaia, Harlequin Rock version, John Sleeps / Sky Magagant, and Upward Movement Dave owns.
It's a real action-packed episode.
Yeah, I've never been on a real podcast before, so this is going to be fun.
Well, we're gonna break your podcast cherry, or as the iTunes community would know it, apple.
Ow, that pun hurt.
Man, I'm really killing it in this department.
Yeah, killing me.
So the first song that...
We should probably do introductions first, right?
Oh, yeah, let's do introductions. So, I'm Luke, I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a fan of Homestuck. I'm an artist for the CANMT, though I haven't done much. I'm also labeled as a musician for some reason, even though I've never even made a song for this, though I have made a couple of songs. And, I've run out of things to say. Scarrow?
Hey, I'm Scaradactyl. I do art for the CAMNT, and just a little bit of music, but as usual, the less said about it, the better.
Yeah, I'm Roxy. I joined this cool new music team a couple years ago. Wow, that's really a long time ago. I used to be a musician and artist, but I haven't really done anything in a really long time. I went on, made my own thing, made art and music for that instead. Yeah.
And, Roxy, I believe you're responsible for me joining the CANMT, that's correct?
Yeah, because we listened to the same podcast for, some amount of time, and I said, "Hey, you a fan? You know these guys? I'll just have you join the server."
Yeah, let me tell you about podcast, and thanks to those guys, I'm part of this. And I have left the server, but I rejoined it today so I could advertise the server, and don't worry, I checked with Tad first. Shout out if he's listening.
Yeah, I forgot that was actually a rule. So I just chill my streams in there. And I guess I just have some sort of unofficial blessing from Tad. He just gave me a thumbs up once, and so I guess that's an eternal blessing.
See, I'm just glad to finally have the answer to the mystery. Is it Rox or Roxy?
Oh, yeah, it's Roxy. I just spell it really, really stupidly.
No, nothing wrong with that.
It's a mistake that I regret to this day, but a mistake that I am proud to live with.
Speaking of mistakes we're proud to live with, the first song is Showtime Imp Strife Remix. So, yeah, some familiar instruments. We got some synth, and fanfare was done by Kurt Blakesky, who also composed the song Beat Down DX on Homestuck Volume 10.
Oh, nice.
Does anybody have anything to say about this song?
This is obviously a pretty great track. I always liked to listen to this right before exams back when I was an undergrad. Though, to be perfectly honest, I'd usually listen to the Slam Jam remix.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to listen to this a lot back when I was in high school. I think freshman, sophomore, I just listened to it during Photoshop class. And I remember specifically the Svix. I think that was their name. Svix did a remix of Showtime. That was also pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It's crazy how many years it's been.
Dude, it's been like 8. Oh my god, it's been like 7 years. No, like this was 2009. Oh my god, 9 years.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years. It's been
1 week.
The next song is Nanaquin.
Oh, I liked re-listening to this one.
Yeah, so it's like an old vinyl record feel. It's got like a... What instrument is that? Is that like a horn or...
I don't know. It feels like it's supposed to... Like, it nails the atmosphere it's trying to make.
Yeah, it's a great gimmick song, and it would be pretty good in a game if you needed to establish the tone. It's not one I like to listen to over and over again, like some other tracks, but
right.
And
I don't think that's what it was meant for. A great example of... I forgot what I was going to say, sorry.
Yeah,
A great example of mood songs in the webcomic would be Doctor. Because it establishes the whole feel of the land of wind and shade and all that stuff.
I feel like this song is sort of like how some CANMT songs get composed, where there's just sort of there's a niche waiting to be filled. Of course, we tend to look at shitposting niches rather than thematic ones, but still, the composition process sort of, as long as you got the chops, it sort of writes itself.
Okay. I remembered what I was going to say earlier. I was going to say this is a great example of a song that really shows that Homestuck is a webcomic. That it really is something that only makes sense in the context of a webcomic. I mean, again, it could be put in a video game, but for this particular purpose, it's used well.
Yeah, it's one of the songs that's like soundtrack and not just supplementary material.
Yeah. Exactly. It's one of the few songs that are used in a Flash that aren't just like actual music. Stuff that feels like it's specifically designed for the Flash and not the other way around.
It's a little bit like the Foley in that very first panning shot.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the song was composed by Mark Hadley, who is, again, as previously mentioned, a close and personal friend of the podcast. And speaking of close and personal friends of the podcast, Kevin Rogami update. So Kevin Rogami works at Power Up Audio and has done such audio for games as Into the Breach, Celeste, Super Meat Boy Forever Descenders, and Darkest Dungeon.
Wow.
You can contact them at their phone number 778-242-6686. I'm not sure if we're leaving that in. That's up for future me to decide.
Wow. That's a bold indecision.
So what's going on here? I'm confused.
Oh, well, in the last episode, we talked about the enigma of Kevin Rogami, and John J. Renz seemed very into him, and so we all did a little bit of research, looked at his Twitter, all that stuff.
Basically, this guy is he was active at one point in Homestuck. He's disappeared for a while, but still seems to have big connections, and his motives are very mysterious, so he's like the Andrew Hussey of Homestuck.
Well, yeah, sure. There's a bit of a paradox there, but sure. Mark Hadley doing double work with the next song, also composed by him, Skies of Skaia. Right now, it sort of sounds like the beginning of Bye Bye Bye.
I'm gonna be honest. I have a bit of a problem when it comes to slower songs. There was one point where I never really even had the patience to listen to a song that started off as slow as this. But I've definitely changed because re-listening to this was like a dream.
It's I feel like this is one of those fine examples of what makes Homestuck music so great. It's this sort of establishing these perfect lemotoires that just perfectly capture some concept and give them something that they can just keep revisiting to make new music.
The melody it's such a juicy, fine melody that all these melodies can just be tapped for future resources. They could just be plugged into different things, almost like they're samples.
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple, but it's very powerful too.
Yeah, which is a lot of Homestuck music, but also a lot of Homestuck music is just screaming, meowing, and the piano.
It's a multifaceted thing.
What about Mark Hadley?
Well, actually, I was last episode. The problem was that the conversation had shifted to Malcolm Brown, and I didn't quite notice. So, to anybody out there who was paying attention, it's not that I have them confused; it's that I had them confused.
Mark Hadley, or Hark Madley, as he is known, released an EP called Science, Sakura Variations. which will be plugged in the description below. And for those who are listening, harkmadly.bandcamp.com.
He was very good at not building a lot of, I guess, publicity for himself in the process, which, I don't know, that's some sort of special magic, given how much people, want to, when it comes to Slender lore, like to dig into things.
Yeah, I guess it feels like Scott Cawthon was kind of, everybody called him by name, from day one, but, you never really hear about Mark Hadley.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually run into him in the wild.
But he doesn't have to worry too much about being recognized, because the only people who recognize him are hardcore Homestuck music nerds.
I actually didn't recognize him at first because he was going by his other moniker, which I can't even remember now because I always knew him as Mark Hadley. So it was kind of funny to think, man, that's a really familiar name, and this music sounds great. I'd better Google. Oh,
him.
To get on a bit of a tangent here, the Emoji Movie wasn't terrible. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't all bad. There were 3 pretty good moments in the film.
The scene where they go into Instagram was pretty good, I guess. That was the one scene where I was alright with.
There was one scene that I unironically laughed at, and that's when they have to escape the Textopolis or whatever, and they have to hide using other emojis, and there's the Christmas tree and the cactus, and they go outside, and Gene has the cactus, and then High Five is just like, why didn't you try to grab the Christmas tree? You didn't even try.
Man, what a great film. So the next song is, what is this?
Just on the edge of my seat.
Oh, shoot, it wasn't playing.
Oh, this is a good song.
Wait, this next song is a game called Buble or Nay.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, Buble or Nay is the game where I play a song and we try to figure out whether it is a song by Michael Bublé or not. Are you ready, Scarrow?
Well, I approve of his name. I'll say that much.
Yes, Michael Bublé is a singer who has been noted to have a Sinatra-esque style of vocalization. I play a song and you figure out if it's him or not. Are you ready, Roxy, Scarrow?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
I'm ready.
How do I buzz in?
Creatively.
Okay.
Say your name. Alright, the first song.
Well, it sounds like Sonic Forces.
Is this a song from Michael Bublé or not? Has anybody buzzed in?
Scarrow.
Scarrow, yes. What do you think?
No.
Incorrect.
I was gonna say yes.
Well, the problem was that I had this thought playing through my head that would not let me listen to music. Michael Guy Bublé.
Michael
That's
Guy
all.
Bublé.
There's nothing to it, but why haven't we made this happen yet? It's one of those niches like I was mentioning earlier. Surely there's somebody on the team who can make this happen.
I'm gonna play the next song in the game of Bublé or Nay. Get your buzzers ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme.
Yes, Roxy, what do you say?
I think he did do this.
Incorrect. The song was sung by Frank Sinatra. Ooh, close. They're often mistaken for each other. No need to worry.
I honestly didn't even know it was Frank Sinatra.
Impressive.
Yeah, he's a very talented vocalist, but most people only know him for his crooning. It's sad, really. He died in a pile of pills.
Well, it is a musical education podcast, as we all know, so I hope everybody learned something today.
I did.
The things that the folks at home don't know. And finally, the final song. Roxy and Scarrow are neck and neck.
At
All right.
0.
With nothing on the scoreboard and nothing on the line, we are ready to go.
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, is this Michael Bublé or nay?
I would like to thank the gentleman way back there for grabbing my ass like that. Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Scarrow.
Oh, fuck.
Scarrow, yes.
Yes, it is Michael Bublé.
Correct!
Okay.
Scarrow, you win.
All right, what do I win?
Nothing. Next song is Harlequin rock version.
I like this song.
Oh, yeah. See, we weren't long into Homestuck before they started trying to take these Les Motois and produce maybe more produced versions of them.
I really like this Lunt Motel.
This leitmotif is really, I don't really feel like I hear it that often, but it's definitely a gift when it shows up.
Absolutely. Maybe I should use this for a
Yeah.
Canmaton song.
Like many things early on in Homestuck, it seemed like it was going to be very important, and then kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah. This song was written by Mark Hadley, again, wow. Arrangement by Michael Guy Bowman. And guitar by Joseph Aylesworth. From what I see, he must be like a local guitar teacher.
Huh.
So yeah, that's
No Twitter
something.
presence?
I didn't check on Twitter, but I doubt that. He seems like I don't know. Yeah.
Careful
he doesn't
about any
always-
comments about age, let's just say.
Yes, of course. I apologize. You've been established to be in your mid-50s.
At least. I wouldn't
At
cop
least.
to anything more, but...
Yeah. Funny story, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but WonderCon 2016, it was a fun time. Not really, I was a nervous wreck. There was a Dave Strider cosplay who appeared to be, in his late 50s. Beta Dave Strider.
Wait,
Just a guy who seemed like a friend's dad.
Remember, early Homestuck had a lot of data structure jokes. There's a certain, let's say, older population whose jam that is. You know how they say that Homestuck, it takes a little getting into. But that's just because the early ones were appealing to people more in maybe that demographic. Old engineers.
Opinions. I like all of Homestuck in some degree. But the thing about Act 1 of Homestuck, the jokes about data structures and stuff, before I actually went and read the whole comic, I only saw episode 1 of the Let's Read, years before. Someone sent it to me. And I quoted the data structure jokes about the capture logs for years, or a couple of years, and then I thought, hey, those are pretty funny. Where did I get those from? And then I looked up capture log, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I read the rest of the comic.
Well, I don't know if either of you are familiar with The King in Yellow.
No, I don't believe I am.
King in Yellow.
It's a fictional play, and its first act is supposed to be very kind of banal, not very exciting, but once you have opened it and read the first word, you will be compelled to read the entirety of it. And once you get past the first act, you go completely insane.
That's interesting.
The comparison's been made, but I think it really holds true. The King in Yellow, which comes from the titular short story collection, which if you haven't read it, Hussey definitely has, so you should. I mean, it's public domain. You can read it for free.
Oh, shoot. Alright, well, I'll link a link in the description. So, speaking of linking links,
All right.
the next song is John Sleeps /Skaia Magicant.
I'd note Magicant is a location from Earthbound.
Yes.
And already the Les Motois have taken root.
Yes. In fact, the leitmotifs have been starting to get credited in the Bandcamp, with Showtime written by Malcolm Brown, Skies of Sky written by Mark Hadley, and arrangement by Toby Radiation Fox, which, is this his first appearance in Homestuck?
It might be.
I think it might be, yeah. But, made Undertale, did Megalovania, all that stuff that everybody likes.
I corresponded with him once.
Don't forget, he also did The Baby Is You, which is by far his greatest work.
And we're sitting around.
He was also in charge of finding pixel artists for a certain open-bound walk-around.
I wonder Where that led him?
Well, that actually led to the hiring of Homestuck's most important artist, Tanny Liu, who is an incredibly talented pixel artist. Also goes by Zero Virus or Drizelic. You should look him up.
Shout out to Tanny Liu!
Check out his pixel joint. It's amazing. Anyway.
Link in the description.
Okay, yeah. I'll click that when the episode comes out, I guess.
The final song of this episode is Upward Movement, parentheses, Dave Owns.
Hell yeah.
All right. I won't repeat its original title, but...
It had a different title?
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested in finding out what that is.
Let's just say that they decided to go with Upward Movement because Dave fucking Owns It This Game was considered maybe a little too coarse to put on the Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, you're far too kind. Sorry, that's the mashup I listened to about 5,000 times again when I was an undergrad.
Thank you, far too kind.
So this song, man.
What a song. It's has some great... Is that choir in the background that I hear?
Well, some approximation thereof.
Like some sound font. Roxy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Just don't really have much to say. This is an excellent song. I think I listened to this. This and the Imp Strife I definitely listened to a lot in high school. This was always a really hype song.
I consider it Dave's theme.
You might say his recurring little lick that kind of signifies his presence.
His lawn motor.
It's lawnmower, nice. You'll edit it out in post, I'm sure.
Oh, of course. This podcast is going to be 5-minute tops.
Yeah, very professional podcasts. This actually is the most professional thing I've ever been a part of, aside from Low Fam, maybe, but not really. Yeah, I'm not saying anything necessarily bad. I'm just saying that they're maybe not exactly extremely professional.
Wow, Homestuck fan group not being professional? What a surprise.
Gotta be careful with the P word anyway.
At first it felt super professional because it felt so alien, being in such a large group. But you get over that pretty fast. Kind of feels like family now.
I spent about 20 minutes on the Buble or Nay theme, trying to figure out which song should be the Nay.
It was a good choice.
It was a great choice, Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, featuring Mark Ronson.
By Brutus Marks.
By Bill Maher.
We should probably talk about Upward Movement a little bit. I think it's such a beautiful song, the way it builds in layer after layer. It's got a wonderful sense of progression to it, and the way Hussey used it in the animation to kind of tie that all together was just amazing, and it was a high point early on in the comic that really showed the potential of where this whole thing could go.
It definitely it feels similar to Nannaquin. It feels like something that was made specifically for the webcomic because of its progression, but it also has the advantage of feeling like it's a great song outside of the context of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Nannaquin.
I guess the other thing that's kind of remarkable is that I think even at this point, these were just songs that people were making. I could well be wrong, but it feels so perfectly fit to that scene, but it probably wasn't something that Hussey specifically requested.
And speaking of that, this has been Sounds of Skaia. Scarrow, say your catchphrase.
Would you like some le motoise?